Hey fight fans, in today's video, UFC fighter Casey Kinney has been arrested for kidnapping and assault.
He hit her because she let the dog out.
The UFC bantamweight was arrested on August 16th on 2 felony charges, kidnapping and aggravated assault, aka strangulation. He also faces 4 misdemeanors, 3 for assault and 1 for disorderly conduct. According to a police statement, Kinney allegedly subjected his ex-girlfriend to 13 hours of abuse, during which he repeatedly struck, slapped, bit, headbutted, and choked her while preventing her from leaving his residence. He also reportedly threatened to kill anyone who came to help her. The incident took place on July 22nd, as claimed by the victim's mother, who called the police for help, but no arrests were made that day. According to the victim's mother, identified as Esther Reyes, Casey hit his ex-girlfriend because she let their pet dog out.
K-E-N-N-Y?
EY.
E-Y.
Okay, I'm taking you off speaker. He's coming.
Okay, yep, that's fine. Take down speaker.
He's a fucking psycho. Here. Jasmine, you're so afraid of him. Why?
Kinney was arrested nearly 3 weeks after the initial report. He's also been released by the UFC. Like Kinney, another UFC fighter making headlines for the wrong reasons is Muhammad Mokaev. Following his release from the UFC, Mokaev was recently involved in a car crash. The incident took place on Thursday in Dagestan. According to multiple Russian media outlets, the former UFC star was driving a Mercedes AMG A35 when the vehicle swerved into a ditch following a collision. Bystanders assisted Mokaev in getting out of the damaged car, and he reportedly asked them to not take any photos. Despite his request, some pictures and videos of the accident still surfaced on social media. The photos showed how the car's left wing, wheel, and windshield were destroyed, though the rear section remained intact. Moving on. What's cooking between Kamaru Usman and Canelo Alvarez?
Well, first and foremost, I'm a fan of yours. I'm a fan of your work. I'm a fan of everything that you've done in the sport of boxing.
Just a few years ago, there were serious discussions about the possibility of then welterweight champion and UFC pound-for-pound king Kamaru Usman facing off against boxing superstar Canelo Alvarez. Now, 2 years later, Usman and Alvarez have finally come together to settle their differences once and for all, with both men acknowledging that there's no bad blood.
Well, first and foremost, I'm a fan of yours. I'm a fan of your work. I'm a fan of everything that you've done in the sport of boxing. And I think it's important for us to, clear the air and have this type of conversation. But obviously we're competitors and we want to compete. And of course, when we started this thing of competition, this sport, our respective sports, we didn't both necessarily get in it for money, but you get in it to be the best at it, to compete. But then you get to a certain point where, yay, the paycheck, it makes it worthwhile because all the years that you work and everything that you put into it, the paycheck makes it worthwhile.
Alvarez explained that he understands why Usman was so eager to make such a bold call-out.
I know the mentality on, I can do it, I can do this, but when you go into the ring, it's very different. The same way, if I go to the octagon, I say I can do it, but it's way different, right? But that's good mentality because you're looking for a challenge, and I love that. And no hard feelings. Don't worry, my friend.
Now, while Canelo might be the best boxer in the world, Max Holloway holds the crown as the best boxer in the UFC. But Ilia Topuria is more than ready to trash that narrative.
I recommend him to use a Hamlet because he's gonna need it.
The UFC welterweight champ has been putting in extra hours in the gym, with a particular focus on close-quarter battles. This comes after Max Holloway's iconic knockout of Justin Gaethje, where the Hawaiian invited his opponent to brawl in the center of the cage before knocking him out cold. If Max tries to do the same thing against Topuria, the champ warns that he'll shut the challenger's lights out when they battle at UFC 308.
If he's gonna bring like the same energy he brings in the last 10 seconds of every round, like when he does this, I'm gonna knock him out in the first round, because in the moment he's gonna stop in the middle and start the exchange, the punches with me. I recommend him to use a Hamlet because he's gonna need it.
Moving on, Sean O'Malley has fired more shots at Conor McGregor.
I feel a lot of jealousy from Conor McGregor, to be honest, which sucks.
Sean O'Malley was once a massive McGregor fan, but ever since McGregor brought up O'Malley's failed drug test from 2018, things have gone south between the two, so much so that whenever O'Malley talks about his former inspiration these days, he rarely has anything nice to say. O'Malley believes McGregor is simply jealous of his success, especially since McGregor hasn't won a major fight in quite some time.
Times change. You know, he's a little bit older now. He's on a 5-fight losing streak. He just pulled out because of his toe, which is just not Conor-like. So I feel a lot of jealousy from Conor McGregor, to be honest, which sucks.
O'Malley, who is set to defend his bantamweight title against Moram Dvalishvili at UFC 306, is on a hot streak of wins, with more recent ones coming against Marlon Vera, Aljamain Sterling, and Petr Yan. Many believe he isn't slowing down anytime soon. But if, for some reason, he hits a career skid like McGregor, he promises to carry himself better than the Irishman.
I hope I don't get bitter like that. Like, I hope once my career starts, maybe doing what his is doing. Well, I hope my career never does that. He's on a 4 or 5-fight losing streak. But, I hope once I'm a little bit older and I see someone else coming up that I'm excited for them, happy for them. I'm almost maybe a mentor towards them, rather than just jealous and bitter because they have the spotlight and I don't.
McGregor was scheduled to make his octagon return at UFC 303, but he had to pull out due to injury, leaving his opponent, Michael Chandler, in limbo. There is still no update regarding the fight, and to make matters worse for the American, rejuvenated contenders like Dan Hooker are also eyeing a red panty night. In a recent interview, Hooker, who recently jumped up to the number 5 spot in the lightweight rankings, explained why he's a bigger fight for McGregor than Chandler.
You're gonna fight a guy in the top 5 on a 3-fight win streak, or are you gonna fight a guy who's not in the top 5 and coming off a loss? I just feel like because I've been staying active and I've been fighting the best guys in the world, that he has more to gain. It just is what it is. He has more to gain from fighting me than he does from Chandler.
Do you agree with Dan Hooker? Let us know your thoughts on today's stories in the comment section below. To stay up to date with the latest happenings in the world of MMA and boxing, please subscribe to our channel and turn on those notifications. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.